I do think so. I had a friend
So that's a
tell
good
me,
thing.
and it needs to be a good friend to be able to say this, but she said, she goes, I think the rape had to happen. And that's a heavy statement, but she's like, you've changed. She's like, she's like, the path you were on, I was working all the time, we were, everything was fine, but it was fine. It was fine. Just kind of living. I was, doing my thing at church and whatever, but I wasn't on fire. I wasn't being used. I wasn't, everything was just okay.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going in a direction of anything. I was very, I think maybe not on the outside, I think I was probably putting up a decent show, but I think inside I was very lukewarm. And that's no way to live, and so I think she's right. I think something had to happen to me to shake me out of my complacency. And I don't think God planned the rape. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I don't think that either.
But things happen, and he uses them. And he used this horrible thing to make me maybe the woman he intended me to be, who I would not be otherwise.
Yeah. Do you believe that all evil that is performed is done because of a demon? Like, do you think this guy had like a literal demon in him, or do you think he was just plagued by a joy of power and hate?
I don't believe that all evil is because of a demon. We're sinful,
Sure.
So we were able to do enough. We were able to do some serious damage on our own. I mean, history shows that human beings are capable of pretty terrific evil on our own. I don't know. I don't know about him. I don't remember. I don't know that I would sense it, but I don't remember feeling like anything spiritual. But I don't know that I would have known at that point, really. So I don't know the answer to that. It could have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, let me just see if there's any other
I
questions.
believe in that. I mean, I do believe that can happen.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, and none of his family members are aware of you, are they? You said that earlier.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, and you've blocked out much of what happened because you passed out. Is that sort of a good thing? Are you glad you weren't aware?
I'm aware of a fair amount. There was a huge rush of a huge, I don't know how to say it, an explosive pain, and then I passed out. And because of what came out in the rape kit, I know what happened at that point. But
yeah,
mercifully, at that point, I passed out, so I don't know what happened. I don't remember that part happening.
Right.
But there are definite flashes. Like, I remember seeing his face at one point. I remember thinking he's going to kill me. I remember, the taste of the carpet. I remember, like, there are things there's enough that I remember, but at first I didn't. Things came back to me in like little chunks. It's talking with a therapist, we talk about how the brain processes trauma. How trauma changes the brain, and then how you process trauma as you heal. You kind of get little pieces back, and I think that's really brilliant, the way that God has designed
us.
Everything, the mind, and everything about us to just sort of heal, because if it's all right there, if you remember everything, it's too much.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for what I don't remember. That was the question.
Yeah, I'm actually friends with someone who was raped. I don't know the details because she's only told me bits and pieces, so I don't know whether she took a morning after pill or anything like that. But what bothered me about the story when she told me was that she didn't do a rape kit. She didn't report it to the police. The guy who did it also happens to fit a narrative that I talk about a lot, which is Islam. He happened to be a Muslim. Anyway, the point is, what do you say to girls like that? Because she was not knocked out, like she was given drugs, and then when she woke up in pain. She woke up saying "ow," and then they mocked her. They're like, "Oh, ow." Anyway, I don't talk to her about it now because I'm the type of person that puts my foot in my mouth all the time. I'm really, really sometimes so socially retarded. So I don't talk to her about it. But if it does come up, I do. The one thing I have said is he's probably going to do it to someone else. But she goes, yeah, but I don't want to have to deal with it. What are your thoughts, and what do you say to the women who do reach out to you about the rape part of it? Obviously, she hasn't had a baby, so I don't know if
Right.
that would have resulted in a baby. I have no idea. I hope it didn't. I hope that just never occurred. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, when I hear from women who call me or reach out to me and they've just been raped, which does happen, my immediate response is please go, like I'll stay on the phone with you, I'll find someone to go there with you, just please go to the hospital. And they're scared, they don't want to, because then people know and they're ashamed and it's going to hurt and all these things, and it's unpleasant. The rape kit is a 3, 4, sometimes longer hour process, and they're taking pictures, they're scraping everywhere, hair and skin and nails, and it's scary and it's violating, and it's it's the last thing that you want to do, after you've just been assaulted, and you, like I said, you want to scrub your skin off and you want to just wash and just forget. And if you knew him, that's a whole other.
She did know him.
I think that's a whole other. You're facing questions of your. It sounds stereotypical, but really you're facing questions of clothing and what did you wear, and what vibe did you put out there, and were you touching, and were you flirting, and maybe you're lying.
They were dating,
and that's a huge, that happens a lot.
Well, it's disgusting. They were dating for a few months, and then he just flicked this evil switch.
And if you were in a relationship and you've had consensual sex before, then it's almost like, well, then it can't happen. And of course it can.
Of course.
And it's very difficult, but it's so important, whether you become pregnant or not, for your safety. I try not to say, for the next woman, because it's not your fault if he rapes someone else. That's on him.
I know, and I might have done that. That's the thing. That's the problem in my mouth.
That's a natural thing. I've heard that too, and I feel like saying that too, like he'll rape other women, but I try not to, because then it's saying like it's your fault and it's not your fault. But
I have to be careful when I.
That's a natural thing to say, because we want to say like you don't want this to happen to someone else, and I was not the first victim, but the man who attacked me, his DNA was not on file, so that means there were other women who did not report it, or it could have prevented what happened to me. Right? And I'm not mad at them. I mean, they were probably terrified too if they survived. So it's so important to report for so many reasons. And if you do become pregnant and you report, in this country anyway, it can help with custody issues. If you have a baby from someone who raped you and you report, that can take care of custody issues. And you need to get it out there. You need to get it on file. And it also gives you some of your power back. You don't feel as helpless. You're not just letting it happen. And I think it's the first step to healing, really. And I try to broach it that way. I try to put it out that way. Like, this is you taking back some of what he took.
Yeah.
Is telling, is speaking it. And that's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah. Were your parents both alive when you were attacked?
They were. My dad was not supportive. He decided that I probably made the whole thing up.
Oh,
and yeah,
sweet God.
I wasn't incredibly surprised. My half sister, his daughter from another marriage, was raped years ago, and I was very young, but I remember him saying, "I'm sure she's lying. Like, men don't just do that." And
are you close with her?
first,
Are you friends? Did that bring you and your sister together? Oh, okay. Never mind. All right.
she's not a nice person. No, that's okay. No, she's much older. We have never had a good relationship. But my father, he said to me, we were over there for Easter. He's Greek, and it's a very misogynistic culture. And hey, it's a very misogynistic culture. And he was like, "What are you going to do about this situation?" And I was like my baby? And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You're going to have that?" And I was like, "I'm going to have that." Yeah. And
harsh.
And, he was like, he's like, "You need to give it. You should tell people it." He's like, "You should tell people it died and give it away." And I was like, "I'm not going to do that." And he basically told me to get out of his house. And
Why?
Adiosas, and that was that. And then when my husband called him a few months later, he said, no one wants her here, and that was it. And then he died a year later. My mother was very, very pro-choice, very concerned about me physically. I'd had a very bad fourth pregnancy. She was very concerned about me emotionally. She the rhetoric of, "Jennifer, you'll never be able to forget. You'll never be able to move on. You do not want this." I'm really, when I started speaking, she was like, "If you're going to mention that, please tell people I love my grandson." I'm like, "I know, Mom, I know." And she did. And she was great. I was her only child. I was all she had. And she was really scared of losing me. And we almost lost me with my fourth baby. A lot went wrong. And so she was, when I said I was pregnant again, and by the way, I was raped, I got to tell her all this in one conversation. She did not handle things well. And she was really scared. She was really scared. And she's like, "Please, please think about it, Jennifer. Please think about it." And so she ended up moving in with us the last year of her life, and really got to know all the kids, and got to see speeches of mine, and she was just like, "I'm just so proud of you. I'm just so proud of what you're doing and how you're standing up for what you believe in and standing up for Josh." And so it was really neat to see her kind of come around there. I don't think she ever fully came around pro-life, but she was getting closer.
Do you think she's with the Lord?
I don't know.
You'll find out.
When we started going to, yeah, I like to think so. When we started going to church together, she did go forward to accept Christ. Like every time we went to church, she went like running forward. So I think she had she wouldn't talk about it with me. She called me a Bible thumper. She's like, "I have my own relationship with God, Jennifer." And I'm like, "All right, Mom, all right."
Aww.
But I did, when she was dying, she said she didn't feel good on a Monday, and by Tuesday morning she was gone. But she was on a ventilator, and I was talking to her, and I
just died.
I prayed with her, and she just, I don't know, she just died.
But she wasn't sick. Oh, I'm sorry.
She said she wasn't feeling well, and we took her to the hospital, and her core temperature dropped, and then she went into multiple organ failure, and everything was gone. It was horrible. It was in April. It was right before we went to London. It was bad. But we got to say goodbye to her, and I got to talk to her. They're like, the hearing is the last to go. So before we unplugged her, because everything was going rapidly, I talked to her and was just like, I want to know that I'm going to be able to see you again. And, had a talk with her, and hopefully if she didn't have Christ, if she didn't have Jesus in her heart, she had another chance. And so I like to think that.
Well, we don't know. Yeah. We don't know the last seconds. The last seconds could have been glorious.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I was going to say that, what was I going to say? It was about, I was going to say that what I like about some of the elements of your story is that they would seem contradictory, and that's why I like them. Your father was the apparent man of faith. Your mother was the pro-choicer, but your mother was the one that fully supported you, and your dad was the one that acted out. Like that, there's something interesting about that dynamic, because you don't expect that. I mean, not to say that I think all Christians are great. I don't. I know many shitty Christians, but there's something interesting about that. That's all. Don't you find that funny? Kind of like.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess I didn't think about that, but yeah.
I just find it interesting.
There are a lot of people in the pro-life movement who are, who wear the term atheist or something like that, and are a lot more Christian acting than some of the Christian pro-lifer. I mean, you see that happen a lot. So yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think the year that you got with your mum is such a gift as well. Like there's something, like I think God was giving you not closure, but like an element of having reunion, which you didn't get with your father. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I'm so grateful for that year. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm so grateful that we had that. I'm so grateful the kids had that, and I'm so grateful for the way that she passed. That it wasn't just, I didn't just wake up in the morning and she was gone. That I got to have time and to tell her, thank you, and I'm gonna be okay, and it's okay to go, and all of that.
And what was her relationship like with the youngest, your little boy?
Oh, she loved him.
She loved him. Of course she did. Yeah.
She had her favorites, but she absolutely adored him, and she was able to be around from the time he was.
Parents have favorites.
They do. They totally do. And every kid who she was like, "Don't tell that you're my favorite." She was the middle guy, the 17-year-old who's a big mouth. He'd be like, "I was her favorite." And I'm like, "You're not supposed to tell." And he's like, he knew. He had to have known. He's like, "I was her favorite." I'm like, we know. Shut up.
That's awesome. Well, I think I'll let you go because we've done an hour and 20 minutes, which I usually do an hour. Yeah, sorry, it's just a lot of my dad.
No, it's okay. You'll have to edit.
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll definitely be edited. I wish you weren't so blurry though, but like I could still see you. You're not that
blurry. I'm sorry.
A little bit. Well, it doesn't matter now. It's the end.
Yeah, I guess right.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's not. You're visible. But yeah. Well, I hope you come to Australia one day. It'd be really an honor to like physically meet you face to face and for you to do something
for life here. We were on Dave Pello's show.
Oh, Dave Pello he's my friend.
Yeah. I love him.
Yeah.
We connected so well. Like we talked with him for like 2 hours after we went off the air. We loved him so much. And he's been talking about trying to bring Jeff and I out there forever. Since we've done the show. So maybe he'll be able to do it eventually.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Oh, when you said Dave Pellos, I'm like, I know that guy.
Well, you should tell him how much we love him. He's really great. He posts a lot of our stuff, I see, but he's so cool. We clicked so well with him, like right away. It was awesome.
He's very Christian, like more than me.
Yeah.
What I mean is, what I mean is that I use colloquial slang. He's proper. I think that's what I'm trying to say. He's proper.
He's proper.
Yeah.
He's older.
Yes, he was older than me. Yeah.
We're supposed to be proper when we're older.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He is a good guy. Thank you so much for coming on my channel and for doing this interview with me. It is highly appreciated. Your story is extremely important, and you had me teary several times, and your husband had me teary. Please pray that I find a man like your husband.
I will, and you know what? Hold out for one because it's worth it.
I think you're right. Well, hey guys, I hope you've enjoyed this interview with Jennifer Christie. She's an incredible human being, and remember that everything she dealt with, she credits to God. So it's not just an internal strength, but it's also something that the Holy Spirit gives you. Correct? Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.